The story begins with the main character, Han Kyung-min, standing with his wife, Park Man-ju, who has already passed away. At the same time, we see a man wearing a pig mask, who seems extremely pleased seeing Kyung-min and his wife dead. The pig-masked man calls Kyung-min a demon, as if blaming him for Man-ju's death. Next, we are introduced to two detectives, Kang Jina and Jin Hisu, who come to investigate Man-ju's case. At the crime scene, they find a note written in blood mentioning a man named Jang Suk, who is essentially a killer that Kyung-min is after. We then see the second main character, Jang Suk, who is a detective and also a friend of Detective Kang Jina. From Kyung-min's and Jang Suk's documents, Jina discovers that the two of them went to the same school as children. Jina calls Jang Suk over for questioning, and he asks her how she remembered him. Jina explains the case of Han Kyung-min and shows him the crime scene photos. Seeing his own name at the crime scene, Jang Suk becomes slightly nervous because Han Kyung-min is his childhood friend. Jina tells him it appears to be a suicide, but there are signs of a struggle. Jang Suk replies that Kyung-min first killed his wife and then tried to make it look like a suicide. He explains to Jina that he last met Kyung-min 20 years ago, and they had lost contact since then. Next, Jina and Jang Suk visit the forensic lab, where they learn that Man-ju's body shows the effects of a large amount of sleeping pills, and her ribs are badly damaged. The doctor explains that Han Kyung-min first gave Man-ju sleeping pills and then beat her chest with punches. As Jina and Jang Suk leave the forensic lab, they receive a call from another detective, Jin, informing them that Han Kyung-min used to visit a neuropsychiatrist. Jina and Jang Suk go to the psychiatrist, who explains that Kyung-min had been depressed due to a past trauma and an abusive father, although his condition improved after his father passed away. However, an incident occurred that caused Kyung-min's mental state to deteriorate again. The psychiatrist reveals that Man-ju had found Kyung-min's childhood album in a storeroom. When Kyung-min saw Man-ju looking at it, he got extremely angry and scared. The album contained photos of students who had bullied Kyung-min in school, along with a pig mask. Seeing the mask frightens Kyung-min, but in reality, no one else is in the storeroom. Kyung-min was imagining the pig-masked man from his school past. Jina asks the psychiatrist if she had advised Kyung-min to take sleeping pills. The psychiatrist clarifies that she had not advised Kyung-min to take them, rather, Man-ju was the one who couldn't sleep and ended up taking them. We then see Kyung-min and Jang Suk's teenage years, where they are playing games and enjoying themselves. But Kyung-min's seniors, named Jang-gi and Kang-min, bully him in the restroom, even pulling down his pants. It becomes clear that in the present, Kyung-min did not give Man-ju the pills, she gave them to herself and overdosed, leaving Kyung-min unharmed because he was already taking drugs. When he wakes up, he finds Man-ju dead, tries CPR, but it has no effect. In a rage, Kyung-min repeatedly punches her ribs. Man-ju's motive for giving Kyung-min the pills was to prevent him from reliving past traumas. She decided that by overdosing together, she could stop him from suffering further. However, Kyung-min survives. In the present, we see the owner of a garage bullying his worker. Kyung-min, now a serial killer, observes this and pulls out a knife. This garage owner, it turns out, is Jang-gi, Kyung-min's senior who had bullied him in childhood. Kyung-min is seeking revenge. Next, Jina and Jang Suk meet with the CEO of Sin's Transportation, who is none other than Han Kyung-min. But Kyung-min uses the alias Ji Cheol to hide his identity. The CEO explains about the company while Jang Suk grows suspicious of a driver who is staring intensely at him. We also see Kyung-min's and Jang Suk's school past. They were promoted to the same class, and Kyung-min is happy to see the seniors who bullied him will be leaving. But when he enters the class, he finds those same seniors still there, and they begin bullying him again. Kyung-min is distraught and cries in the restroom. Meanwhile, in the garage, the owner, Jang-gi, calls Kyung-min, sir, and offers him tea and coffee, unaware that Kyung-min plans to kill him. Kyung-min is looking for the right moment to take revenge. However, Jang-gi receives a call from his daughter and shows affection for his family, which briefly halts Kyung-min's plan. But memories of past bullying spur Kyung-min to continue. He convinces Jang-gi to drink with him, using the excuse that he had a fight with his wife and needs a calm place. It turns out that Jang-gi had previously been poor, and Kyungmin had given him the garage, making him the owner. That's why Jang-gi addresses him respectfully as Sir. Kyungmin tells him about Sin's transportation, revealing that he purchased and renamed the company himself. Then, Jang-gi tells Han Kyungmin that he also went to Sinsuk Middle School. Hearing the name of the transportation company reminds him of his school days. Jang-gi shares that his school days were very pleasant, which irritates Kyungmin internally because Jang-gi is referring to them as good memories, while Kyungmin's childhood was ruined by bullying. Jang-gi remains oblivious to the fact that the man sitting in front of him is Han Kyungmin. Jang-gi is happily reminiscing about his school life, while Kyungmin is plotting to destroy him. Meanwhile, we see more of Kyungmin's and Jang Suk's past, where Kyungmin is doing Jang-gi's homework. After the homework is done, Jang-gi resumes bullying Kyungmin. Jang Suk witnesses all of this quietly because if he intervenes, Jang-gi and his friends would have attacked him too. A student holding a baseball bat is also watching everything. In the present, Kyungmin arrives at Jang-gi's house and reveals his true identity. I'm not Ji Cheol. That's another name I use. My real name is Han Kyungmin. Jang-gi, who is drunk, becomes very nervous upon hearing the name and attacks Kyungmin. Jang-gi is almost about to kill him when a bystander watches the fight. Finally, Kyungmin injects Jang-gi, rendering him unconscious. When Jang-gi wakes up, he finds himself naked. Kyungmin forces Jang-gi to make a final call to his wife, but cuts it off after 10 seconds, effectively destroying Jang-gi's main point, a reference to how Jang-gi used to pull Kyungmin's pants down repeatedly in school. Kyungmin leaves a baseball and a note written in Jang-gi's blood before walking away. As Kyungmin exits, another man appears behind him, but his identity is not revealed yet. Meanwhile, Detective Gina and Jang Suk are having dinner when Detective Jin Hee-soo calls, reporting that Han Kyungmin has committed another murder. Gina and Jang Suk rush to the crime scene, where they find another note. The note reads, Jang Suk, you must remember our school days. You should be with us. Reading the note, Jang Suk and Gina are shocked because Kyungmin has made Detective Jang Suk a suspect in his case. Detective Jin Hee-soo explains that the person behind the note is named Mr. Jang-gi, who owns a garage and seems to be assisting Kyungmin. Hee-soo suspects that this Jang Suk is connected to Kyungmin. At the crime scene, Jang Suk sees a baseball, which makes him feel sick to his stomach, and he heads home. Meanwhile, Detective Do Sik and Senior Officer Kim arrive and are ordered to capture Detective Jang Suk immediately. In the past, we see a new teacher, Choi Suki, entering the classroom. Suki selects a class president, and Kang Min, Jang-gi's friend, is chosen. Kang Min is academically excellent, always at the top of the class. Teacher Choi Suki instructs Kang Min to introduce himself to the class, but no one pays attention. Kang Min becomes angry, threatening everyone that disobedience would result in severe punishment. He orders Kyungmin to crawl on the floor as an example, which terrifies the students into obeying. Jang Suk observes everything silently. In the present, Jang Suk, while drunk, comments that Kyungmin is taking revenge, and then he passes out. In his unconscious vision, Kyungmin calls Jang Suk to join him. Later, Gina calls Jang Suk, warning him to stay away from the Kyungmin case. Jang Suk refuses, saying he is already present at 2 crime scenes, and if he leaves, everyone will blame him. He insists he must stay on the case. Gina asks about Jang-gi, mentioning that he was also from Sinsuk Middle School. Jang Suk explains that many people bullied Kyungmin in school, and Jang-gi was one of them. At the police station, Do Sik, Jin Hee-soo, and Senior Kim realize that the mysterious person Gina had brought to the last crime scene was Detective Jang Suk himself. Senior Kim orders them to capture Jang Suk immediately. We then see Jang Suk in Kyungmin's past. Jang Suk had noted down Kang Min and his friend's behavior and placed the note in the classroom's note box. Teacher Suki calls Kang Min into the staff room, praises him, and tells him to clean his desk, where the note box is placed. Kang Min reads the note. In class, Teacher Suki asks all students to close their eyes and identify who left the note. Everyone keeps their eyes closed except Jang Suk, who raises his hand. Suki tries to intimidate Jang Suk, who lowers his hand. Then, Suki asks all students to open their eyes, realizing no one opposes Kang Min. Essentially, Jang Suk was filing a complaint about Kang Min's bullying, but even the teacher supports Kang Min because he comes from a wealthy family. We see the student holding the baseball laughing at Jang Suk. After leaving school, Jang Suk asks Kyung Min why he didn't raise his hand. Kyung Min explains that it wouldn't have mattered. Last time, when he complained, the other students bullied him even more. Jang Suk gets angry and leaves. The next day, Kang Min continues bullying Kyung Min, accusing him of writing a note. Jang Suk finally intervenes, telling Kang Min to stop. In the present, Han Kyung Min is seen giving large sums of money to his manager, implying the manager is also complicit in his crimes. Kyung Min is planning his next murder. The identity of the next target is about to be revealed. In the next scene, Choi Suki, now the school principal, is leaving the school. Kyung Min follows him, stops his car, and threatens him with a knife. Suki escapes in fear. Kyung Min's next target is Principal Suki because he also has a history with him from the past. Meanwhile, at the police station, Jang Suk's team has arrived. Detective Gina receives a call from Forensic Science, where a doctor reports that Jangi died around 10 p.m. Gina informs everyone that Jang Suk is not the killer because at the time of Jangi's death, Jang Suk was with her. Senior Kim instructs Jang Suk to form a team, with Jang Suk as the leader. He orders them to capture Han Kyung Min as soon as possible. Since Gina had taken Jang Suk to the crime scene without informing her senior, she is suspended temporarily. Afterwards, Gina joins Jang Suk at Wait and helps assemble his team. Gina shows photos of all the students from Sinsuk Middle School who were with Jang Suk during childhood and explains that Jangi is dead. Kyung Min will choose his next victim from the remaining students. Jang Suk instructs his team to interrogate the remaining students. On the way, Gina asks Jang Suk, when all these students were bullying Kyung Min, what were you doing? You weren't silent, right? The story flashes back to Han Kyung Min and Jasu's past, where Jang Suk has now become the target of bullying. We see a fight between Jangi and Jang Suk, with Jang Suk beating Jangi badly. Eventually, Jangi gives up. Kyung Min watches all of this, enjoying it, but Jangi's suffering leaves a permanent grim expression on Kyung Min's face. In the present, Jang Suk's team members, Nam Duk and Jo Pil, interrogate two of Kyung Min's former followers, Lee Wen and Sung. Jo Pil asks Lee Wen about Han Kyung Min, but Lee Wen denies knowing him, claiming no such boy existed at school, and if he did, he doesn't remember. Before leaving, Jo Pil asks Lee Wen who troubled him most in school. Meanwhile, Nam Duk asks Sung the same, and Sung denies recognizing Kyung Min. When pressed about the most bullying student in school, Sung hints that teachers were the worst bullies, reminding Jang Suk that even teacher Suki had bullied students. Back in the present, Principal Suki notices someone riding on his car. He yells to stop the person, but the man starts running, and it's revealed to be Han Kyung Min. Nam Duk informs Jang Suk that Lee Wen and Sung remember nothing about Kyung Min except mentioning a teacher, which reminds Jang Suk of teacher Suki's past behavior. Jang Suk goes to meet Kang Min, who has now become a doctor. Kang Min is happy to see Jang Suk as a police officer. Jang Suk warns him that his life is in danger and advises him to stay inside for a few days, but Kang Min doesn't take him seriously. Principal Suki hides in his office, fearing Kyung Min. Gina shows him Kyung Min's photo, confirming he is the one trying to kill Suki. Gina goes out to call for backup, and a killer tries to attack her but escapes. Meanwhile, Jang Suk captures two drug dealers who reveal that Kyung Min paid Kang Min to become addicted to drugs, using a girl as a conduit. Kang Min soon becomes a drug addict. While preparing to leave work, Kang Min discovers that someone has let the air out of his car tires, forcing him to take a taxi. Jang Suk calls him, telling him to go to a nearby police station, but Kang Min still doesn't take him seriously. Jang Suk warns him that he is trying to save him from Kyung Min, who is now killing everyone who bullied him in school. Kang Min begins to show signs of tension. While in the taxi, Jang Suk tracks Kang Min. Gina calls, reporting that Kyung Min just tried to kill Principal Choi Suki. We then realize that the person Gina captured earlier was not Kyung Min but the same driver from Sinsuk Transportation who had been watching Gina and Jang Suk. At the same location, Kang Min passes in the taxi and instructs his driver to take him to a nearby police station. The driver warns that if they go, people will know Kang Min is a drug user. Kang-min smirks but asks who the driver is. The driver turns around, and it's Han Kyung-min himself. It becomes clear that killing Principal Suki was just a pretext. Kyung-min's real plan was to corner Kang-min. The police force had been tracking him using the driver. Realizing the driver is Kyung-min, Kang-min attacks him, but Kyung-min injures him with a knife. Kyung-min shows Kang-min a video of his drug use and calls his manager, threatening that if he doesn't respond in time, the video will go public. Kang-min panics because his reputation has always been important to him. By now, Jang Suk has arrived at the scene. Kang-min hides in a parking area while Jang Suk searches for him. Kang-min calls Jang Suk, mentioning someone named Chul, the boy who hid in the corner during Sinsuk Middle School with a baseball in his hand. Kang-min tells Jang Suk that he had left a baseball when killing Jangi. During the conversation, Kyung-min hits Jang Suk with a rock, knocking him unconscious, and takes Kang-min away. When Jang Suk regains consciousness, he realizes his gun is missing. Checking CCTV footage, he discovers that Kyung-min has taken it. At the police station, Gina is furious and asks Jang Suk why he left the school when Kyung-min left. Jang Suk explains that he couldn't stand by while Kyung-min bullied Kang-min, which made him the next target. Flashing back, we see Kang-min beating Jang Suk, but Jang Suk fights back, even biting Kang-min on the chest. Teacher Suki arrives, calling Jang Suk's parents to the school, where Jang Suk's mother shows up. Jang Suk's mother used to sell fish. She comes to the class to explain the benefits of eating fish, and all the students laugh. Soon, Kang-min's father arrives. Being a wealthy man, he brings theme park tickets for everyone and distributes them to the students. Teacher Suki had invited both Jang Suk's and Kang-min's parents to showcase Jang Suk's status in front of everyone. In the present, Jang Suk is explaining all this to his team when he receives a video message. In the video, Kang-min is apologizing to Jang Suk and Kyung-min and asking for help. Jang Suk and Gina go to interrogate Sisk Transportation's manager about Kyung-min's private van. The manager refuses to cooperate, insisting they need a warrant. Frustrated, Jang Suk smokes a cigarette. Then, Kyung-min calls Jang Suk, explaining that he is punishing Kang-min for what he did to Jang Suk. Kyung-min also reminds Jang Suk about Chul, calling him their messiah, which triggers disturbing visions for Jang Suk, where he sees Chul. Meanwhile, Kang-min forbids Kyung-min from releasing a video, ordering him to strangle himself, the same way Kang-min had forced Jang Suk to do as a child. With no other option, Kang-min strangles himself. The story flashes back. After the parents left, Kang-min and his friends resume bullying Jang Suk, strangling him while all the students watch but don't intervene. Then Chul attacks Kang-min and his friends, saving Jang Suk. Chul emerges as a new fighter, a hero, taking Jang Suk and Kang-min to his home, revealing his pig mask. It's revealed that the masked figure laughing at Kang-min at the story start was Chul. Chul teaches Jang Suk and Kang-min a lesson. Kang-min and his friends are like dogs, while they are pigs, loved only if slaughtered. Chul pushes Jang Suk and Kang-min to become cold-hearted. Kang-min is terrified, even when Chul orders them to kill a cat. Jang Suk hesitates but eventually kills the cat. Hearing this, Kyung-min outside Chul's house gets even more frightened, remembering how Kang-min and his friends bullied him in the past. Chul then begins training Jang Suk and Kang-min in ruthlessness, marking the start of their journey to becoming cold-hearted. Back in the present, Lee Wen and Sung discuss how Kang-min was the main bully of Han Kyung-min. Lee Wen tries calling Kang-min, but he is unreachable because Kyung-min has captured him. Lee Wen and Sung are enjoying a party with girls when Nam Duk calls, warning them to come to the police station. Suddenly, the lights go out, and some thugs kidnap Lee Wen and Sung. Jo Pil and Nam Duk arrive and try to stop them, but fail. After reviewing Kang-min's video message, Jang Suk and Gina deduce that it was recorded in a luxury van. On the way to locate it, they learn that Lee Wen and Sung have been kidnapped. Meanwhile, Kyung-min shows Kang-min childhood photos and a Rubik's Cube, asking if he remembers it, making Kang-min anxious. Flashing back again, we see Kang-min being bullied in school by his seniors. A student named Jang Bin, holding a Rubik's Cube, witnesses this. Jang Bin, the 9th grade gang leader, later challenges Chul by playing baseball. Chul provokes Jang Bin, who leaves in anger. Kang Min, taking out his frustration on Kyung Min, attacks him. Chul also attacks Kang Min, leading Jang Suk to finally retaliate against Kang Min and his friends. However, Jang Suk is eventually overwhelmed. Then Chul steps in fully, taking out his weapon and overpowering everyone. In the present, Kang Min's friends, Li Wen and Sung, are terrified seeing him unconscious. When Kang Min regains consciousness, the three of them are overjoyed to reunite after so many years, laughing and sharing stories over dinner. But during their conversation, Kang Min curiously asks how they even found his location. Li Wen and Sung explain that he had emailed them the hospital address himself. That's how they knew where to come. Kang Min freezes for a moment and says he never sent any email. Although the friends are confused, they decide not to ruin the moment and continue their dinner happily. But later, in the present timeline, Kang Min realizes something horrifying. He was the one who actually sent those emails. Shocked and unable to handle the truth, Kang Min picks up a gun and ends his life. Li Wen and Sung, traumatized by what they just witnessed, immediately surrender to the police. Detective Jang Suk rushes to the scene and is filled with rage when he discovers that Kang Min shot himself using Jang Suk's own gun. As Jang Suk examines the crime scene, his attention is caught by a strange cube lying nearby. The sight of it sends chills down his spine. When he steps outside, he starts seeing visions, flashes of a boy named Chul reminding him about that cube. Disturbed by these hallucinations, Jang Suk visits a neuropsychiatrist. She explains that what he's seeing might be caused by a mysterious presence called Luzon. She warns him not to respond if Luzon ever tries to communicate with him and gives him medication to suppress the visions. Meanwhile, investigator Kang Ji-na looks into the gun used in Kang Min's suicide and discovers that it was registered under Jang Suk's name. Around the same time, Pil and Nam Duk show Jang Suk CCTV footage of Kang Min changing taxis before the incident. This evidence shocks Jang Suk, who realizes that drivers from Sin's transportation were secretly helping Kang Min. These drivers were all ex-criminals, hired illegally and paid far more than normal drivers. Jang Suk and his team immediately head to Sin's transportation with a warrant. They confront the owner, arrest the manager for employing unqualified drivers, and shut down the entire taxi service until the investigation is complete. Soon after, Jang Suk receives a call from his teammate, Manja, who reveals that the manager's name is Park Sajin, a former police officer. Everyone is puzzled about why an ex-cop would be working with Kang Min. When questioned, Sajin refuses to speak and demands a lawyer. Meanwhile, Jina starts becoming suspicious of Jang Suk himself. While checking his laptop, she finds a hidden pen drive and opens it. Inside, there's footage showing Kang Min handing something to Jang Suk, possibly the gun, but the video is unclear. Jina then checks a dashcam recording from the parking area and finds an old photo showing Jang Suk, Kang Min, and another boy, Chul, together. Curious, Jina calls Jang Suk and asks if he had any close friends from Sinsa Middle School. Jang Suk lies, saying he only knew Kang Min, hiding the truth that the three of them, Kang Min, Jang Suk, and Chul, were once inseparable. Later, Jina meets Park Chan Young, an old classmate of theirs. Chan Young tells her that Kang Min and Jang Suk were great friends, and Chul was the kind of person who always stood up for them, a loyal friend who often fought for others. But flashbacks reveal a darker reality. One day, Chul brutally beats Kang Min with a belt and orders Jang Suk and Kumin to join him in punishing Kang Min. Kumin refuses, saying Chul has done enough. Chul then commands Jang Suk to attack Kang Min, but before he can, a senior student named Jang Bin arrives and stops the fight. Because of this violent incident, the school calls in the parents of Kang Min, Jang Suk, Chul, and Kumin. During the meeting, Kang Min's father furiously beats Chul in front of everyone, a moment witnessed by Park Chan Young. As a result, Chul is suspended from school. Meanwhile, we learn about Park Sajin's tragic past. Jang Suk asks another officer why Sajin left the police force. The officer explains that Sajin once had a niece named Jayan, whom he loved like his own daughter. Jayan was bullied at school and, unable to bear the torment, tried to end her life. Sajin snapped, attacking the bully's parents in a fit of rage. Though he escaped serious punishment, he left the police force to take care of Jayan. When Jang Suk later visits the hospital where Jayan is admitted, he discovers that Kang Min has been paying for all her medical bills. Meanwhile, Jina continues her investigation and asks Chan Young about Chul. He sadly tells her that Chul is dead. He had committed suicide by jumping off the school terrace. Jina is shocked and asks why. Chan Young says no one really knows, but it might have been because of relentless bullying or problems at home. In the present day, Jang Suk interrogates Li Wen about what happened on the yacht. Traumatized by Kang Min's death, Li Wen breaks down, apologizing and sobbing uncontrollably. When Jang Suk shows him the cube, Li Wen becomes hysterical, apologizing again and again to both Chul and Jang Suk until he collapses and is rushed to the hospital. We dive deeper into manager Park Sejin's past and how his path first crossed with Kang Min. It all begins when we see a young girl named Jayan, Sejin's beloved niece, sitting alone in a park, crying helplessly. Sejin has no idea that Jayan has been the victim of relentless bullying at school. She's constantly receiving threatening messages and calls from her classmates. Unable to bear it any longer, Jayan tries to end her life by jumping off a rooftop. When Sejin finds out what happened, that his niece was bullied so severely she attempted suicide, he completely loses control. In a fit of rage, he storms into the office of the father of one of Jayan's bullies, a powerful construction company director. Without a second thought, Sejin kills him right there in his own office. Now, you might wonder why this detail about the director is so important. It's because Kang Min used to work as that director's accountant. On the day of the murder, Kang Min is present in the office and witnesses everything unfold. After the killing, Kang Min meets Sejin outside and hands him a folder full of documents, evidence that exposes the director's financial frauds. Sejin, still shaken, asks Kang Min, "Why are you giving me all this? What do you want from me?" Kang Min calmly replies, "With these files, that man would have ended up in prison for a long time. But now, it doesn't matter. What matters is justice." Sejin, still confused, presses further, "Why me? Why bring this to me?" Kang Min looks at him with deep pain and says, "Because I know what it feels like to be bullied. I was a victim too. And now, I want revenge on the people who destroyed my life." From that moment, Kang Min and Park Sejin begin working together. Kang Min promises to cover all of Jayan's hospital bills, and in return, Sejin quietly supports his mission for vengeance. Back in the present, Detective Jang Suk realizes that his pen drive has gone missing. When he checks Jina's laptop, he finds it there, confirming that she's already seen what was inside. Jang Suk instantly understands that Jina now knows the truth. The gun Kang Min used to end his life belonged to him. Jang Suk calls Jina and apologizes for hiding the gun's details from her. Jina doesn't let it go easily. She asks again, "Jang Suk, in middle school, did you have any other friends besides Kang Min?" She's testing if he'll lie again. And once more, Jang Suk hides the truth, saying, "No. It was only Kang Min." Jina's suspicions deepen. She knows he's still lying. Moments later, Jang Suk's teammate Manja reads an online news article that contains shocking details about Jayan's case. Jang Suk immediately asks who wrote it. Manja replies, "The journalist's name is Kim Young-bin." Hearing that name makes Jang Suk freeze. He starts digging online to learn more. Then, he tells his team, "Kim Young-bin is our next target. Get to his office immediately." Because Kim Young-bin wasn't just a journalist, he was one of the main bullies from their middle school days. Meanwhile, Jina visits Chul's mother to learn more about her son's death. The grieving woman gives Jina Chul's photo and his supposed suicide letter. She tells her that apart from Kang Min and Jang Suk, Chul never really had any other friends. Back to Jang Suk, he finally comes face to face with journalist Kim Young-bin and asks him, "Have you ever met Hang Young-bin?" Kim replies, "Yes. About a year ago. He told me you'd come to meet me exactly 1 year later." The story then flashes back to that meeting a year ago. Kim Young-bin had gone to Park Sejin's house to write a story about Jayan's case, where Kang Min was also present. But Young-bin didn't recognize him at first. He had no idea that the man sitting across from him was Hang Kang Min, the boy he used to bully years ago. During their talk, Park Sejin was explaining Jaeon's tragedy, and Yoongbin became emotional. He said, "I understand how painful this must have been." Kang Min coldly interrupted, "No, you don't. You could never understand." Yoongbin replied, "You're right. I don't. But I try to, because I used to bully kids too. Back in school, I made many stupid mistakes. One of the kids I bullied even killed himself." Kang Min's face hardens as he asks, "What was his name?" Yoongbin lowers his head and says quietly, "Kim Chul." He admits, "It was because of me and my friends that Chul ended his life. I regret it every day." At that moment, Kang Min places a knife on the table and says, "I'm Hang Kang Min, the boy you used to torment." He looks directly into Yoongbin's eyes and continues, "I came here to kill you." But when he sees Yoongbin's genuine guilt, he decides not to. Instead, Kang Min gives Yoongbin a task, a form of redemption. He tells him, "Write my story. Write about Chul, tell the world how he was our hero, and how he really died. Publish everything. And 1 year from now, Jang Suk will come to see you. Ask him about Chul's death. He knows the truth better than anyone." Now, in the present, Yoongbin plays that old recording for Jang Suk and asks, "Tell me then, what was the real reason behind Chul's death?" But Jang Suk stays silent and walks away. While driving, Jang Suk receives a mysterious call from Kang Min, who demands, "Tell me the truth about why Chul died." We're then taken back to their past, to the days before Chul's death. Jang Suk and Kang Min had visited Chul's house after his suspension. Chul asked bitterly, "You came here because no one else will fight for you, right?" Jang Suk said, "That's not true. We just wanted to check on you. I feel bad that you were the only one punished." Chul replied, "You're cowards. If you'd hit Kang Bin with that belt, he would have stopped bullying us forever." Jang Suk quietly said, "We can't win this fight." Chul nodded and agreed, "You're right. We can't. Even if we escape Kang Bin and his gang, Yoongbin and his friends won't let us live peacefully." A few days later, Chul, Kang Min, and Jang Suk return to school. During morning assembly, all the students gather in the ground, but Chul isn't there. He's standing on the terrace, looking down at everyone. And before anyone can react, he jumps, ending his life in front of the entire school. Back in the present, Jina receives a call from Chul's mother. She tells her that letter was Chul's, but the note inside it wasn't written by him. Jina rushes to the lab to compare handwriting samples. The expert confirms that both the letter and the note were written by the same person, but the note definitely wasn't written by Chul himself. Jina looks again at the old photo Chul's mother gave her, the one showing 4 boys together, Hang Kang Min, Jang Suk, Chul, and another boy named Nyang. The doctor looks at the photo and says the handwriting doesn't belong to Chul, it's one of the other 3. Meanwhile, Jina returns to the police station to find any paper written by Young Suk, hoping to match his handwriting. On the other side, Young Suk starts having strange visions while walking. In them, Chul tells him that Kyung Min is playing a game with him. Young Suk gets terrified, takes his psychiatric medicine, and burns the photo of him and Chul together. The next scene cuts to Hong Kyung Min, who's secretly watching his old middle school classmate, Park Chan Young, planning to kill him. But Chan Young used to be a good friend of both Young Suk and Kyung Min. So why is Kyung Min now after him? We jump back to the past. Chan Young was secretly selling porn CDs at school to earn money. One day, Kang Min and Young Suk caught him red-handed and threatened to tell the principal unless he gave them the money he earned. Chan Young, scared, hands over the money, but Kang Min says that money isn't enough. If Chan Young wants to keep this secret, he must become their servant. From that day, Chan Young was forced to obey every order they gave. At that time, Chul was suspended from school, and Kang Min along with his friends took advantage of it by bullying Kyung Min and Young Suk. Kyung Min, who used to stay silent before, finally started standing up for himself. But then their old friend Chan Young, now serving Kang Min, turned against them too. He used an igniter to shock and torture both Kyung Min and Young Suk. Back in the present, Kyung Min is seen talking with his manager, Sang Jin. Sang Jin tells him that Chan Young is now a slave of the dark web, a a member of a site called Dog Park, created by a criminal known only as Doc Park. Hearing this, Kyung-min says, he used to be a slave to Kang-min and his friends, and now he's still a slave, just under someone else. Previously, we saw Kang-min planning to kill Chan-young. But the real question was, why did he want to kill him in the first place? The answer lies in the past. Chan-young had also joined Kang-min and his friends in bullying Young-suk and Kyung-min. They constantly used electric igniters to shock them for fun. We see Kyung-min heading toward Young's apartment, but when he gets there, the police have already arrived. They start suspecting Kyung-min, so he quickly disappears from the scene. At the station, the officers report that they've found a suspicious person in the area. Meanwhile, Young-suk arrives at the station, furious at Gina. He shouts, asking why she touched his belongings without his permission. Gina, on the other hand, confronts him about the secret note she found. Young-suk denies any connection between the note and the ongoing case, but clearly, he's hiding something. Soon after, Young-suk tells Gina that they should catch Kang-min together, but Gina refuses. Then, Young-suk's team member, Manja, informs him that an unknown man was spotted nearby. Young-suk and Jo Pil rush to the location. Young-suk orders his team to gather a list of all residents in the area. Meanwhile, Gina finally manages to get a handwriting sample from Young-suk and sends it to the lab. The result shocks her. Young-suk's handwriting perfectly matches the suicide note's writing. She can't believe what she's seeing. From the resident list, Young-suk learns that Kang-min's next target is Park Myung. But when they go to his home, Park Myung isn't there. Kyung-min soon breaks into Chan-young's place, where he learns the horrifying truth. Park Chan-young isn't just some random victim. He is Dog Park, the criminal mastermind running a dark website where users could order assassinations. The killers were paid in porn DVDs. Inside Chan-young's wardrobe, Kang-min discovers stacks of those DVDs. Disgusted, Kang-min takes them and uploads Park Myung's photo to Dog Park's site, issuing an open order to kill him. When Park Myung gets home, he realizes all his porn DVDs are missing, and worse, his own photo has been uploaded to the site as a target. He panics. Within minutes, dark web hitmen arrive outside his house. Park Myung's face turns pale with fear. What he doesn't know is that Kang-min has already hacked into the Dog Park website and is now the one controlling the orders. As the hitmen prepare to storm the house, Young-suk and Jo Pil arrive too, but the criminals attack them as well. Jo Pil is badly injured, and Young-suk is confused, unable to understand why these men are after Chan-young. He still doesn't realize they're dark web assassins. While Young-suk tries to protect Chan-young, Gina also rushes to the scene. One of the hitmen lunges at her with a knife, but the blade ends up stabbing Young-suk instead. In the chaos, Chan-young tries to escape but gets captured by the hitmen. They contact Dog Park, really Kang-min, to ask what to do next. Kang-min, pretending to be Dog Park, sends them a location and orders them to drop Chan-young there. The hitmen obey, leaving Chan-young at the spot. But Kyung-min soon arrives and drags him back to his hideout. Meanwhile, Jo Pil chases down the men who had kidnapped Chan-young and manages to catch them. Young-suk later receives a call from Kang-min. On the call, Kang-min reveals the shocking truth: Park Chan-young is Dog Park. Young-suk is speechless. Moments later, Young-suk is hospitalized, and Gina calls her superior, Jin Ha-soo, asking him to guard Young-suk's room at all costs. No one should let him leave. Gina then returns to the Wait office, where she checks Kang-min's financial assets. She notices something odd: all of Kang-min's properties had been sold, except for one called Imperial Palace. Sensing something strange, Gina heads there. Inside Imperial Palace, she finds a board filled with details of all of Kang-min's targets. It's clear now, this was Kang-min and his manager's secret base, where they planned every murder. Among the evidence, Gina finds a diary titled The King of Pigs. It belongs to Kang-min inside. He had written everything, about Chul, what happened to him, and how he died. Gina begins reading the diary, and we're taken back to the past. Chul, who was suspended from school, was waiting for his father to return. He goes to the factory where his father used to work and asks an employee if his father had called. The man says no, and adds that Chul's father had quit long ago and hadn't come home for a very long time. Later that day, on his way home, Chul meets Young Suk, who tells him, "I've never seen anyone stronger than you, you're my hero." Meanwhile, their teacher, Mr. Suki, comes out of a bar drunk. That bar was where Chul's mother worked. Suki, drunk and shameless, keeps touching her inappropriately. Chul witnesses it all. When Suki leaves the bar, Chul follows him to his home. When Suki sees him, he starts shouting nonsense. But Chul, furious, confronts him. "The woman you touched at the bar was my mother. How can a teacher touch a student's mother?" Suki turns pale. Chul demands that Suki revoke his school suspension. The next morning, Young Suk and Kang Min are sitting on the school terrace, waiting for assembly to start, because if they went to class, Kang Min and his gang would just bully them again. But as expected, Kang Min and his gang, including Park Chan-young, start tormenting them once more, using electric igniters to shock them. Then suddenly, their hero, Chul, returns to school. He immediately goes after Kang Min and beats him up again. Park Chan-young runs to tell teacher Suki that Chul is fighting again. But now, Suki is under Chul's control, because of what happened at the bar. So Suki doesn't stop Chul. Later, Young Ki tells his senior, Kim Young Bin, about what happened with Kang Min. The seniors gang up to attack Chul, but he doesn't back down. After taking a few hits, he beats all three of them to a pulp. Chul becomes the hero of the entire school. Everyone admires him, even bringing him food and gifts. Everything seems to be going fine, until the police show up at school, looking for him. The officers inform Chul and his mother that they've found his father's dead body, and ask them to come to the station to confirm the identity. At the police station, it's revealed that the dead person is Chul's father. Chul's mother breaks down crying, and seeing this, Chul is completely devastated. At school, Park Chan-young learns that Chul's father has died. He spreads the news throughout the school, and suddenly, all the students start looking at Chul with pity. But Chul cannot bear the sympathy. Meanwhile, Kang Min and Park Chan-young smirk, because the whole plan to evoke sympathy for Chul was their idea. Chul calls Kyung Min and Young Suk to take a photo together, the same one Kang Min had given Young Suk earlier. Young Suk asks why they're taking the photos suddenly, and Chul reveals his dark plan. He intended to commit suicide at the school during morning assembly in 2 days. The photo is meant to make them smile whenever they think of him in the future. Young Suk and Kyung Min try to stop him, but the police intervene and take Chul to the place where his father used to live. There, Chul notices new shoes his mother had kept for him. Emotionally overwhelmed, Chul starts crying. He takes the shoes home, finding his mother worrying about his future. Seeing her like that, he cries even more. After some time, Chul tells Young Suk that he will no longer actually commit suicide, he will just pretend to, and not end his life. Chul asks Jasu for a favor. During the morning assembly, when he is on the school terrace, everyone's attention should be directed to him so that he can act out his fake suicide without danger. Young Suk agrees. Then, Young Suk behaves a little strangely, asking why Chul changed his plan. Chul explains that he has to live for his mother. He doesn't think she could survive without him. Young Suk reluctantly accepts this reasoning for the staged act. The next day, all students are called for assembly. Everyone, including Kyung Min, waits in the school ground. Kyung Min expects Chul to come to the terrace, not realizing Chul changed his plan. Young Min also heads to the terrace. Chul arrives, and the students immediately understand that he's attempting suicide. But Chul's plan was only an act, until suddenly, he actually falls from the building. Panic spreads among the students. In reality, Chul didn't jump by himself, someone pushed him. And that someone is none other than Young Suk. As Young Suk pushes him, Hong Kong Min witnesses the act. Finally, the truth is revealed. Chul did not die because of family pressure or bullying. He died because Young Suk betrayed him. In the present, Kang Jina learns the entire story. She is terrified because Young Suk, who helped Chul during bullying, turned out to be a killer. Why Young Suk killed Chul will soon become clear. Meanwhile, Kang Min handcuffs Park Chan-young and hangs him, letting water surround him. He sets a high-voltage current near Park Chan-young so that when the water rises to a certain level, the electricity spreads, killing him. Here's a simple question for the audience. Why did Hong Kong-min electrocute Park Chan-young? And the second question, why did Young-suk kill Chul? The answer, Young-suk saw Chul as his protector, his hero. Talking to himself, he says, "Chul, you must die for us." In his foolish logic, Young-suk thought that after Chul's death, no one would ever bother him or Kang-min. Chul had no idea. Chul stood on the school terrace, and Young-suk came from behind and pushed him. The real reason for Chul's death was Young-suk's betrayal. Now here's another question for the audience. Park Chan-young is already dead. Who will be Hong Kong-min's next target? And yes, no cheating. In the present, Young-suk and his team search for Park Chan-young. Young-suk has visions of Chul and starts shooting at him. News spreads everywhere that Park Chan-young was the criminal dog Park, operating the dark web. We see Hong Kong-min giving Chul's mother a large sum of money. She tells Kang Jina to use it to prepare Chul's weapons. At the wait agency, reporters arrive for questioning. They ask the chief why Hong Kong-min killed Dog Park. What connection did he have with Park Chan-young? At the conference, Hong Kong-min arrives and tells everyone, Park Chan-young, aka Dog Park, was my classmate in childhood, and during school, he bullied me a lot. That's why I killed him using high-voltage electricity. Reporters ask Kang-min why he is surrendering. He replies, I want to bring the truth out in front of the world. At that moment, Young-suk also arrives. As Kang-min talks about revealing the truth, Young-suk handcuffs him. We then see Young-suk and his team removed from Kang-min's case. New officers start interrogating Kang-min. He accepts responsibility, saying, I take full responsibility for the deaths of Park Chan-young and the others. The team chief is pleased, saying the case is solved. But Hong Kong-min wants to reveal another truth. The audience now knows which truth Kang-min is referring to. Kang-min asks the new officers to call Young-suk, and when they meet, Kang-min confronts Young-suk. I know you pushed Chul to his death. Why did you do it? Young-suk replies, do you think anyone would believe your words? As they argue, Jina arrives, showing Young-suk the diary written by Hong Kong-min. She says, I know you killed Chul. Young-suk scoffs, you think you can build a case against me with just a diary and a note? The chief arrives, and Jina leaves the investigation room. Young-suk asks Kang-min what he wants. Kang-min replies, I want the truth about Chul's death. Tell it to the world yourself and apologize to Chul's mother. Young-suk, worried about his image, ignores him and leaves the room. The chief asks him what Kang-min said. Young-suk lies. He claims Kang-min kidnapped another victim near Wuji Mountain and will take him there. The chief orders everyone to prepare to go to Wuji Mountain. Meanwhile, all of Hong Kong-min's drivers are informed that Kang-min is being taken to Wuji Mountain. On the way, Hong Kong-min's manager Sang-jin follows Young-suk's car. Kang-min tells Young-suk that he knows Young-suk plans to kill him to protect himself. In reality, Young-suk's true plan was to kill Kang-min because he couldn't bear to ruin his years-long image. That's why Jasu lied to the chief, claiming Kang-min had kidnapped someone. Young-suk throws the car into water and escapes, but Kang-min is handcuffed and trapped. Soon, Kang-min loses consciousness. Sang-jin jumps into the water to save him and rescues Kang-min. Later, we see Kang-min and Sang-jin talking as they part ways. News outlets support Hong Kong-min, and Kim Young-bin observes everything. Hong Kong-min calls Kim Young-bin to execute a plan. Kim Young-bin must write a detailed article about his sins, Hong Kong-min, and Chul. It's now time to make the article public. Meanwhile, Jina searches for Young-suk and calls Officer Jin Soo to help locate him. In the next scene, Kang-min kidnaps Choi Suki and takes him back to Sin-suk Middle School, cutting the veins in his hands. Young-suk arrives at manager Sang-jin's location and threatens him, tell me where Hong Kong-min is, or I'll kill your niece. Sang-jin informs him that Kang-min is at Sin-suk Middle School. Young-suk heads there to kill Kang-min. On the way, Jina tries to stop him, but he doesn't stop. At the middle school, Young-suk confronts Kang-min. What happened a year ago that made you start killing everyone? Kang-min explains, I saw Chul a year ago. Kang-min goes to the school terrace where Young-suk is trying to strangle him. Police arrive. Young-suk releases Kang-min, but Kang-min handcuffs Young-suk and jumps from the building, the same place where Chul committed suicide 20 years ago. Thus, Young-suk and Kang-min meet their end. As I mentioned at the start, this story is about two friends, but actually, it's about three. We see Young-suk and Kang-min die the way they lived together in childhood. In the final flashback, teacher Suki challenges all the students to find a treasure. Young-suk, Kyung-min, and Chul work together. Teacher Suki calls everyone for a group photo. This photo becomes the last memory, marking the end of the friendship story of Kyung-min, Young-suk, and Chul.